Will gay adult content providers be banned, jailed, and worse? Donald Trump's electoral win could ignite efforts to ban pornography in the U.S. with alarming implications for LGBTQ adult content creators. Central to this push is Project 2025, a manifesto by the Heritage Foundation that calls for outlawing pornography, imprisoning producers, and classifying educators and librarians distributing sexual content as sex offenders. Kevin Roberts, Heritage Foundation president, claims, quote, pornography should be outlawed. Its purveyors are child predators and misogynistic exploiters of women, end quote. The Supreme Court's Miller v. California decision currently protects sexual content under the First Amendment. However, much like overturning Roe v. Wade, a right-leaning court could reverse those protections, threatening queer representation in entertainment and adult content creation. Though Trump denied ties with the manifesto during his campaign, he has confirmed plans to include Project 2025 contributor Tom Homan in his administration. In such circumstances, for creators and advocates, the question remains, is free expression next on the chopping block? Free expression, yes. Pornography, no. I have a hard time believing, even in this climate, that pornography would be outlawed, because that's what the internet was created for. I think I don't know if it's still the number one use, but it's still, is. Or it's up there. Yeah. And that's the one moderating force in men is whether you're black, white, gay, straight, whatever. Everybody likes porn. Everybody wants their porn.
Everybody likes porn. Porn is never going to go anywhere, okay? Listen, think about X right now, all right? X is the biggest place to get all your porn needs, all right? I'm off X. I got off exactly the moment that they allowed racism and crap on there. I was out, right? I use Pornhub like everybody else, right? But, you know, Fab Scout is a movie house right here in Fort Lauderdale. Howard Andrew is someone that represents a lot of actors. And I asked him for a quote because I wanted to know what he thought about this, right? He goes, there's a lot more than just that. A lot. I understand their feelings, but cannot respect their votes. Arad isn't even from here, yet he claims to know about our politics, but not his own sexuality or work. Having this outcome threatens our entire industry. Project 25 calls for the eradication of porn, along with so many other detrimental issues. Now, I heard this AM, the group would like Trump to take the USA back to 1900, when America was great. I fear for my kids and grandkids. I fear for my industry and friends. I am not sure what the future holds, but my worst fear is that he may change things and count himself in as king and supreme leader, kind of like what Scott had said, our first story. But does that mean that the eradication of porn?
No, it's not going to be the eradication of porn. It's going to be the demonization and criminalization of those that are making it. Mm-hmm. Don't underestimate how they can use the courts against you. They overturned Roe versus Wade, which I grew up believing was like the third rail of politics. You could never touch that. You could never do anything.
It's in stone. I thought it was the Ten Commandments.
They not only overturned it, but they suffered no electoral punishment for it. It's not that they're not going to be watching gay porn themselves.
Oh, but they are.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's not that they're not going to be, but they'll single out the people that are producing it, and use them as an example. Already, for the last 2 years, Safe Schools South Florida, which just does like youth education and super innocuous stuff, all of our meta ads and TikTok ads are banned for being too political or encouraging sexual content.
Oh my God.
Because you're talking about queer and youth together. Others will define that as being inappropriate material for youth.
Bobby.
And that's where the danger lies. Not that they're going to get rid of gay porn.
Bobby, you were talking about the actors themselves, right? And that is who Scott's saying it's going to be the targets, the movie houses, the actors themselves. But you were telling me before the show that there's a bunch that have come out in favor of Trump.
Yes, there are several, including Arad, which you were talking about with Howard, but there's also this guy named Devin Frankel, his actor name. He was outed by out.com with his real name, but I'm not going to mention that, as a Trump voter. There's quite a few even younger ones who are, who are basically twinks. Conservative twinks, think about that. But the thing is, though, we are looking at, and this will not, if they're going to prosecute porn makers, they are no, it will be a blanket operation unless they can get around some kind of selective persecution of just LGBTQ makers. But some of the biggest gay porn labels belong to straight porn companies.
That's true.
And more to the point, red states are the heaviest consumer of porn. Doesn't matter if it's gay porn or straight porn. Red states and the heavier the Republic area is, the more porn they consume, according to survey year after year from Pornhub and other free porn sites. So
and it also could be too that it'll be the implied punishment. With Don't Say Gay in the schools, it's essentially wiped out gay-straight alliances or severely dampened it.
Yeah.
Not because the law now says you can't have the clubs, but teachers are afraid to sponsor the clubs. And because you have to sign a permission slip and take it home to your mommy and bring it in before you can join any club, you're also reticent to do that. So it's the fear that it puts over an industry by saying, we're going to single you out, we're going to punish you.
To be honest, Project 2025's definition of pornography is actually much more scary than people realize, because they single out teachers with images of drag queens as a form of pornography, and those teachers should be given be viewed as sexual sex offenders. But one other thing I do want to say, I was talking earlier about is Democrats a suicide to attack queer voters. Men are a huge part of the Republican Party. For them to go after their own constituents like that, you won't have a pathway to victory, especially they made such gains with young men, and if they don't, they upset those guys.
They're going to lose them.
Yeah.
So I'm split on it because, one is that with men, obviously, if it was something to do with women, sure, they'll take it away. But when it's with men, no. But I do want them to go after it. I do, because I feel like Trump and his administration has to do something. The only way that we're going to survive the 4 years and get out in some reasonable shape is if there is some kind of rift between Elon Musk and
happening.
So that it exactly or some other thing that Joe Rogan supporters wait, you're coming for our porn? No.
That's where I draw the line.
Exactly. And I think something like this may work out into our favor. So
right? Okay, so more porn for our community, folks. We got to support. Bobby, what's next?